What's going on? YouTube, listen up, young elder gang. This is Ted Strokes at you with another banger. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Fam, I hope this video get at least 100,000 likes in this video. You will find history definitions, scripture information, and best of all, what we Americans have been deprived of from the beginning. The truth, keep in mind. This content used in this video is intended for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. We will give you the total truth as we best understand it today. Be sure to hit that like button, young elder gang. Hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, hit that bell, and don't forget to check back with us every day for new content. Bob Marley was more than a musician. He was a global symbol of resistance, unity, and hope. Rising from humble beginnings in Jamaica, Marley's reggae became the soundtrack for the oppressed worldwide. His lyrics challenged the powerful, calling for liberation from the Babylon system. In 1970s Jamaica, political violence raged between the socialist PNP and conservative JLP, with superpowers pulling strings behind the scenes. Marley's influence rivaled that of politicians, making him both a beacon of unity and a target in a nation on the brink. His quest for peace would soon place him in the crosshairs of forces far more dangerous than he imagined. Marley's generosity and authenticity made him a beloved leader in Jamaica's fractured society. His anti-imperialist message and grassroots influence threatened those invested in chaos and division. As the 1976 election approached, Marley's peace concert was twisted into a political tool, angering him and painting a target on his back. Suddenly, he was seen as a political threat, not just a musician. The question remains, how far would his enemies go to silence him? Some believe his tragic death was no accident, but the result of a covert plot. In 1970s Jamaica was a nation at war with itself, split between Manley's socialist PNP and Siaga's pro-US JLP. The island became a Cold War battleground, with the CIA determined to prevent another Cuba. Political violence seeped into every aspect of life. Neighborhoods became armed camps, and reggae's birthplace was haunted by gunfire. The struggle was both local and global, with powerful foreign interests fueling the flames. In the midst of this chaos, Marley stood as a lone voice for peace. His neutrality was dangerous in a world demanding sides. The CIA's strategy in Jamaica was destabilization, economic sabotage, propaganda, and arming violent gangs. Food shortages and blocked loans crippled Manley's government, while fear-mongering media stoked panic. Guns and drugs flooded the streets, turning political rivalry into bloody warfare. The goal crushed the socialist movement and sent a warning to the region. The agency denied involvement, but many saw their hand in Jamaica's suffering. Marley's message of unity was a direct threat to this shadow war. Marley's spiritual authority and anti-establishment lyrics made him a force politicians feared and coveted. He tried to stay neutral, seeing political division as Babylon's trap, but his influence was too great to ignore. Both parties sought his endorsement, and his refusal was seen as defiance. The Smile Jamaica concert, meant for peace, was politicized, putting Marley in grave danger. For those who thrived on chaos, silencing Marley became a strategic goal. His voice, too powerful to be ignored, stood in the way of Jamaica's shadow war. December 1976. Kingston was tense. Just days before the Smile Jamaica concert, Bob Marley's dream of unity was twisted by politics and violence. At 56 Hope Road, Marley's sanctuary, unease replaced peace. In the shadows, gunmen closed in, sent to silence the prophet of peace. The storm was about to break. The tranquility of the evening shattered as two white Datsuns screeched to a halt at 56 Hope Road. 7 armed men stormed the property, unleashing chaos and gunfire. Rita Marley was wounded. Don Taylor shielded Bob, taking 5 bullets. Marley, too, was hit. The attackers fled, leaving behind blood, fear, and a chilling message. No one was safe. After the gunfire at Hope Road, chaos and devastation reigned. Bob Marley, Rita, and Don Taylor lay wounded, targets of a calculated political hit. The world watched, wondering, would Marley retreat or rise again? After being shot, Bob Marley's life was in danger. Many urged him to cancel the Smile Jamaica concert, but Marley refused to be silenced. Just 2 days later, wounded but unbroken, he took the stage, transforming pain into power and defiance into legend. Bob Marley's defiant smile. Jamaica performance was a courageous farewell. The island had become too dangerous, forcing him to leave for his family's safety. Marley left Jamaica in secrecy, beginning his exile. In the Bahamas, he found refuge and began to heal. London became his new home, where exile sparked a creative fire that would soon change the world. Exile in London was no rest for Marley. Instead, it sparked a creative fire, leading to the birth of Exodus, a masterpiece forged from trauma and defiance. Conceived after an assassination attempt, Exodus became Marley's powerful response, transforming pain into hope and cementing his legacy as a global icon. After surviving an assassination attempt, Bob Marley's exile in London sparked a shift in his music. He moved from protest to prophecy, focusing on faith, love, and inner liberation. Albums like Kaya reflected this evolution, less militant, more spiritual. Marley's message became universal. True revolution begins within. In 1978, Jamaica was torn by political violence. Only one man could bridge the divide. Bob Marley was called home from exile to headline the One Love Peace concert. On April 22nd, Marley returned, uniting rival leaders on stage in a powerful gesture of hope. For a brief moment, music healed a nation, though peace would prove fragile. Following the One Love Peace concert, Marley's stature grew to mythical proportions. The bullets failed, so plotters turned to a more insidious weapon, disease. The weapon wasn't a gun, but a simple gift. A brand new pair of Converse All-Stars, size 10. Hidden inside was a small, sharp pin. The pin delivered a microscopic payload of death. The explosive claims about Bob Marley's death come from a man who was a ghost in American foreign policy. Bill Oxley, a CIA hitman, confessed from his hospital bed. He claimed to have carried out 17 assassinations for the U.S. government. Marley was seen as a threat, not a musician. His removal was considered necessary for the greater good. A death from natural causes was the perfect cover. While dismissed by many, it offers a chilling narrative. The story of the infected shoe is disturbingly specific, and it aligns with the known facts of Marley's medical history in a way that proponents of the theory find deeply compelling. Marley's fatal illness began with a lesion discovered under the nail of his big toe. In 1977, after injuring his toe during a game of football in London, the wound refused to heal. Doctors initially diagnosed it as a form of skin cancer called acral lentiginous melanoma. This specific type of cancer is rare, particularly in people with darker skin, and its cause is not linked to sun exposure, a fact confirmed by UK scientists in 2014. For conspiracy theorists, this mysterious origin is not a coincidence, it's evidence. The official story is that the football injury simply brought the pre-existing condition to light. The conspiracy theory, however, offers a more sinister timeline. The infected pin in the Converse shoe, delivered by Bill Oxley, was the genesis of the cancer. The subsequent football injury was merely the event that aggravated the site, accelerating the disease's growth and finally bringing it to the attention of doctors. The diagnosis of a rare aggressive cancer in the exact spot of the alleged attack is, for believers, the smoking gun. It connects the CIA's purported weapon directly to the physical ailment that would ultimately claim Marley's life. According to Oxley's confession, the plot didn't end with the initial infection. The second phase of the assassination was to ensure that Marley never received the proper medical care that could save him. Oxley claimed he kept close contact with Marley during the final years of his life, not out of concern, but to monitor the progress of the disease. More chillingly, he alleged that the CIA had assets within the medical community. These agents, posing as doctors or influencing Marley's actual physicians, were tasked with steering him away from effective treatment. Their job was to hasten his demise rather than cure him. This part of the confession explains why Marley was reportedly given conflicting and ineffective medical advice. Doctors in Paris, London, and the United States allegedly downplayed the severity of his condition, telling him nothing was seriously wrong. They recommended the amputation of his toe, a procedure that his Rastafarian faith forbade, knowing he would refuse. This refusal was then used to justify a lack of more aggressive treatment until the cancer had metastasized and spread throughout his body. By the time Marley sought alternative treatment at a controversial clinic in Germany, it was too late. The CIA, the theory goes, had not only planted the disease but had also carefully managed its deadly progression. In his final years, Bob Marley's vibrant energy faded as cancer spread relentlessly, forcing him into a private battle. His dreadlocks fell, his strength vanished, and conspiracy theories grew. Even his son Ziggy questioned the official story. Bob never made it home to Jamaica, passing away at just 36, leaving behind mystery and legend. While the Bill Oxley confession may be suspect, the underlying motive for a CIA plot against Bob Marley remains disturbingly plausible. In the context of the 1970s Cold War, Jamaica was a critical battleground. The United States was deeply committed to preventing the spread of socialism in the Caribbean, and Michael Manley's government, with its Cuban ties and leftist policies, was a major source of concern for Washington. The CIA had a documented presence on the island and a clear strategic interest in destabilizing Manley's rule. Any figure who could unify the people, promote peace, and lend credibility to the PNP government would be seen as a direct threat to American interests. Bob Marley was not just a musician. He was the single most influential figure in Jamaica. His power was cultural and spiritual, a force that transcended politics and was therefore much harder for outside powers to control. His message of anti-imperialism, his critique of the Babylon system, and his calls for African unity were inherently revolutionary. By bringing political rivals Michael Manley and Edward Seaga together at the One Love Peace concert, he demonstrated an ability to broker peace and foster unity, directly undermining the CIA's alleged strategy of chaos and division. From a purely strategic standpoint, neutralizing a figure with that much unifying power would be a logical, if ruthless move for an agency tasked with securing American dominance. The official denials from the CIA carry little weight for those who have studied the agency's history. The CIA is in the business of secrets and plausible deniability. It has consistently denied involvement in countless covert operations that were later proven to be true. To expect the agency to confirm its involvement in the assassination of a global peace icon is naive. The classic response, a flat denial of any involvement, is precisely what one would expect, regardless of the truth. This institutional secrecy creates a vacuum where conspiracy theories can flourish, as the official narrative is provided by an organization with a well-earned reputation for deception. The argument against the conspiracy often centers on a simple question: why would they bother? Was a reggae singer truly that much of a threat? This perspective fundamentally misunderstands the nature of soft power. Marley's influence was not measured in guns or money, but in hearts and minds. To the world bankers or a Cold War strategist, a prophet who could inspire millions to emancipate yourselves from mental slavery might be seen as a more profound, long-term threat than any politician or guerrilla army. His power was ideological, and ideas can be far more dangerous than bullets. The mystery of Bob Marley's death endures. Was it a tragic twist of fate or a sinister plot? The official story says cancer, but doubts linger, fueled by secrecy, conspiracy, and Marley's powerful legacy. In the end, his message lives on, even as the truth remains forever out of reach. Decades after his death, Bob Marley's voice echoes worldwide, an icon of peace, rebellion, and spiritual conviction. His music arms generations with ideas, not guns, teaching that true revolution begins in the mind. They may have stopped his heart, but they could never stop his song. Bob Marley's story is one of triumph. Though his life was cut short, his mission to spread reggae and the message of peace, love, and resistance succeeded beyond all dreams. In death, his voice only grew louder, his influence more profound, a beacon for unity and hope that still inspires the world today.